All right, good morning, everybody. Got a pretty exciting list for today. I've been staring at Thrasta Tempest Roar for a long time. I'm not really even sure exactly what made me drag it over into a Prowess deck yesterday, but I thought it might be interesting to try out Thrasta, which is a powerful MH2 card that has always felt like there's either been like a little too few enablers or the card costs like one too much mana for it to really see much competitive play. It's a 12 mana 7/7 trample haste with a really cool ability to trample over planeswalkers. I think I am definitely going to forget this ability at some point today, by the way. And it has hexproof as long as it enters the battlefield this turn. The card also costs 3 less mana for each other spell cast this turn. And so I think it makes a lot of sense to play it in a Prowess deck that's good. That gets to play a lot of effectively 0 mana spells, Lava Dart from the graveyard, Mutagenic Growth, Gunshot, Bauble, Manamorphose. Manamorphose obviously being the best one. And you just get to play a super duper duper low curve. Another card that I've had this in like the front of my brain for a long time. If I ever wanted to play a green-based Prowess deck, I wanted to play Abundant Harvest, which lets you play 16 lands pretty easily, because you really don't want to draw too many. 2 lands is you're pretty happy with, sometimes 3. But just like this, like it lets you keep a really high density of one-landers, and like kind of lets you ensure that you're not going to draw too many lands. And it also helps you get that storm count a little bit higher sometimes for Thrasta too. The list was like a little bit different yesterday, but I wanted to show this off. The very first game I played with the deck, I had a turn 2 win with Thrasta. I was in the draw, but and my opponent kind of messed up because they waited to bolt the Soul-Scar Mage till my turn, so I was able to Mutagenic Growth it. But I did have a turn 2 win with the Thrasta, my very first game, which was really exciting. And then my second game, I played Thrasta on turn 3. And then my third game, I played Thrasta on turn 3 again. And then my fourth game, I played Thrasta on turn 3 again. And then I ended up 4-1ing this league, losing to Yawgmoth. I kind of punted. I maybe would have been able to win the match. But I ended up finishing off the league with a turn 2 win through a Grief and a Brazen Borrower, living in Petty Theft to my Leylines. Leylines are mostly for the living in matchup here. And then they griefed my Lightning Bolts. I still killed them on turn 2 with a Swiftspear, which is crazy. So I'm excited to play the deck. It was real like action-packed thrill ride yesterday. It was really fun deck to play. Felt pretty powerful. Excited for this. Someone else is playing the deck right now. I just played against it. Oh, I haven't even streamed a single match yet. It's been on the Stream Decker for a little bit. I don't know if they like reverse engineered it. It's not like that hard to reverse engineer. Gargan, 9 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Fleece Man with the 12 months. Thank you for the year. Lord of the Bananas for the 4th. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I've not Planeswalker trampled yet. The only Planeswalker I played against was Garist yesterday. I do think I will forget about the trample over Planeswalkers ability at some point this stream. I think it's going to be relevant, and I'm going to forget that it's on this card, so I'll do my best not to. But it's such an easy thing to forget about. Yeah, definitely going to be some fast leagues too, usually with these Prowess decks. Gets an 80 card deck though. Well, we have 16 land deck. Don't love to have 3 lands in the opener, but I'm going to keep this, I guess. Is Force of Negation ever worth it? Can't think of a time where I've really liked Force of Negation and Murktide. Your curve is like just so low. I think you don't want it. I guess I'll play the Stomping Ground. I might just want to fetch the mountain this game. We'll see. I'll graveyard that for some help with Delirium. I'm definitely gonna choose non-land here. Found a Lightning Bolt. Okay, not too bad. A little bit scared of a Ridden 6 killing my Dragon Rage's Channeler this turn, though. No Become Immense. You could play a Become Immense. I just really think that... I think for Thrasta, you have to build the deck really as low to the ground as physically possible. Like, this deck is all 0 and 1 mana spells. If you count Mutagenic Growth as a 0, which I think you should. Become Immense is often going to be a 1 mana spell, but Some tissue with Dragon Rage's Channeler too, although maybe some synergy with it too. I think you just leave it at home. I always have the red on turn 2, I guess. Bummer. That being said, okay, there's another Channeler. So if I go 4 spells, 8 damage, plus 5, 8 plus 5, 13. Just put my opponent down to 2 life right now. I think it's probably better to play the Channeler, though. Probably better to play the Channeler. Channeler, Bolt, Channeler. I guess I'll Bolt first, and then maybe I see something on top that informs my decision. Okay, Manamorphose is going to keep that on top. I think I'll Dart Flashback Dart for more damage. No Solitude? No Solitude cast, at least. Yeah, no Thrasta this game. Deck was bad all along. Sans for 3 months, thank you. What? Touch the Spirit Realm. I guess I'm gonna make red. Let's go. Well, pretty good draws. No Thrasta though. It's okay. Yeah, one thing I've been struggling with a little bit when sequencing with the deck is a lot of like turn 2, turn 3s, you have the ability to like dump your hand for a ton of prowess triggers, and a lot of times you have the option to hold your hand, so you have the ability to cast a Thrasta. And that decision is like always really easy when you have Thrasta in hand. I think you just like wait a turn a lot of the time, but a lot of times I'll like go for at least that's how I like lost my match against Yawgmoth. Like if I had waited a turn to dump my hand, I could have Thrasted, and maybe I would have 5-0'd the league last night. Just kind of a small thing. Yeah. So what Yorion deck plays Touch of the Spirit Realm, by the way? All right, 16 lands, but 4 lands in the hand. We do have 2 Manamorphose. Manamorphose is like the best card in the deck. It's so hard to mulligan a hand with 2 lands, a turn 1 creature, and 2 Manamorphoses. Maybe I guess if this were a 6-card hand, I would actually be like really happy to keep Soul-Scar Mage, 3 lands, 2 Manamorphose. So I think I just keep. I don't like it. Oh yeah, probably Enigmatic Incarnation. That makes sense. Yeah, it could just be the 5th Ephemerate too. We could maybe be reading too much into it. Yeah, but Sprawl probably Enigmatic Incarnation. Oh, come on, no! Disaster. This deck has 16 lands. This deck has 16 lands. Why Void over Tormod's Crypt? When piecing this together last night, I felt Crypt would be the best graveyard to hate since it's spellcast for Thrasta. That might be a good choice, although like the reality is like Leyline of the Void is so much better against Living End than Tormod's Crypt, where it always exiles all of their permanents, and I just have to play this a little slower. It exiles all their permanents, and it doesn't get Force of Negation, it doesn't get griefed, you know? And they can't it's just the better card of the matchup. And it's also true, like, you know, maybe this is less true because I, you know, post a list or whatever. But alright. Let's see, what are we doing here? I think I'm just gonna cast Light Up the Stage and pass. Soul-Scar Mage, Lightning Bolt, okay. What was I saying? Yeah, it's just like, I think Leyline's a better card against Living End. I mostly want to fear Living End. Tormod's Crypt obviously has more synergy, but Tormod's Crypt is just not that good in the matchup. It's really easy for them to play around. They have more answers to it. I think it's just not where you want to be. Okay. Omnath plus fetch land on turn 4. I think Blue-Red Murktide is better than Grixis Shadow for an unknown meta. I would say that's the case, yeah. That Blue-Red Murktide has like certainly more polarizing matchups. Okay, they hit it to Fairy, probably bounce Oath of Nissa. Can be plus. So if I draw a Thrasta, I can trample over planeswalkers. They bounce their Omnath? That's so frustrating. It's a good play though. It's a good play. Okay, I'm just gonna make red here. No Thrasta, unfortunately. Or I'll play another turn, get to play game 3 on the play, maybe. Yeah, definitely had a good turn, though. Would not mind finding a Thrasta. Yord in the hand, 3 mana left. Touch the Spirit Realm. Okay, bummer. Targeting Swiftspear instead of a Soul-Scar Mage, which I think is incorrect. Okay, no reason to thin first, because we just definitely hit a land. Or, sorry, a spell. Non-land. Alright, so if I hit a Thrasta off this Abundant Harvest, then we get to cast it. We don't find one. If I find another Lava Dart... If I find another Lava Dart, I can... kill the Omnath by flashing it back, or milling it over here. That's going to be probably not good enough to win, though. Probably not good enough to win. Probably have to settle this game 3. Another Manamorphose is kind of interesting. I'm just going to go pack it in. We can't beat the Yorion. Game 3 on the play. Hope to not draw so many lands this time. Master Mike, 16 months. Oh yeah, baby slash back for Kolaghan's command. Good idea. Chef, 8 months. Sub baby is almost here. Welcome back. Glad you like the stream. On the play. You like subtlety the board of blue red? Yeah, it's okay. I think it's a fine option. Okay, interesting hand. I think I have to mulligan because it's a 1-lander, but it's close. Because I could potentially go Bauble, look for second land. No, I just have to go to 6. Yeah, the average 6 is so much better here. Knight, 8 months, thank you. Oh, I forgot the rule. No, Thrasta equal no mull. But it also mulls to 6. Two lightning bolts. I think I'm gonna Manamorphose for red. I guess I'll go use the red for Surveil and a Prowess trigger. Surveil that into the yard for Delirium purposes. My opponent for 3. And now if they Ren and 6 my Channeler, I do have the Mutagenic Growth for the save. Stoneforge Mystic. Weird. You've won turn 2, turn 3. Yeah, my very first game I played this deck off stream last night was a turn 2 win with Thrasta. And then my next 2 games also had Thrasta. I think I'm going to Mutagenic Growth. To try to find something else to do this turn. Just put max pressure. It's obviously like super aggressive. This is something else to do this turn. Doesn't give me Delirium though. Sets me up for like a lot of good top decks though. It's gonna be 5, 6, 7 damage. I think I'm gonna Graveyard. Very close though. Okay, that's Delirium, so I think I'm happy with my decision. Graveyard that, I guess. Could keep it. Omnath on top. Hopefully Omnath is too slow this game. I'm gonna put it for 9 down to 4. Their hit is Batterskull, Omnath, some mystery cards. Feels bad to draw a land, but we do have lethal in play. How would I draw it? This was my upkeep, if If you're asking about how would I draw the Swiftspear. Alright, want to know. Yeah, only DRC is... DRC is the only Delirium card, but it's just too good to not play in this deck, I think. Yeah, this is certainly the lowest to the ground aggro deck, or Prowess variants we've played. Played a lot of them lately. The grounded version, the Shredder Phoenix version, now this. This is definitely the most aggressive, I think. With these like super synergistic aggressive decks, I don't like to have too many sideboard cards. I just like to have some more narrow, really impactful sideboard cards. Or uncastable Leyline's bad. They're bad if you draw them and don't reveal them in your opening hand, I guess. I'm gonna keep this on the model 6, not very good, but I think you don't want to go to 5. My opponent does go to 5 though. You can cast them off Manamorphose. It's not gonna happen very often. It's a good start from my opponent. Oh wow, what a that's kind of a funny draw. The 1 of Gutshot to deny the Sentinel from drawing a card. Gonna do this now to play around Spell Pierce or Blacksmith Skill. Yeah, it's a funny draw. So playing against Hammer Time. Gets a Hammer Time opponent who mulled to 5. See if they get Cauldron. They do get Cauldron. So let's go ahead and Abundant Harvest for a land. All my lands tap for red. Gonna get a Stomping Ground. Lightning Bolt. And pretty close to being able to Thrasta if I draw 1. Maybe want to wait a little bit. We'll see. Because like without a target for the Mutagenic Growth, I'm a little scared. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait a turn to cash out these Manamorphoses. Especially because I would really like to Lava Dart and Inkmoth Nexus. Sack Silent Clearing. No space for Burning Championship. I mean, Emissary is just too unsynergistic in the Prowess stack, I think. It's also like less good than you think too. Okay, this lets me Thrasta. It's less good than you might think, since it makes red green instead of green green. Oh boy, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna make green green. Dart, flashback dart, Thrasta, and then I have an extra 6 damage next turn, which is lethal. Just gonna wait for next turn though. Yeah, any red fetch is exactly the same in this deck. My opinion, why does something like 4 color doesn't play Abundant Harvest? I remember when people would talk really excited for it. It's a complicated question, for sure. Let me sideboard real quick and I'll do my best to answer it. I've also tried out Abundant Harvest in a lot of different shells. Okay, so in this matchup, I played it last night. I think my strategy was to sadly board out the Thrastas because you're playing a bit of a more controlling game plan. I think I was minus 3 Thrastas and 1 Mutagenic Growth. Yeah, so Abundant Harvest, I think, I really like it in decks like this one that are kind of like weird. They want to play very few lands, and a lot of the spells are really replaceable and do the same thing. This is like the weird formula that I like Abundant Harvest in Modern. In like the 4-color Omnath deck, I think you're just kind of spending, like, you know, Abundant Growth is good because you have synergies with it. I think it's just like not synergistic enough for this deck, or for 4-color Omnath. Okay, I'm gonna fetch away the Copperline Gorge. 16 lands, by the way. Based on decks I've seen you like Harvested, seems like it shines in decks with linear game plans with Dunder similar effects across non-lands. Yeah, I would say that's definitely the case, and I think another piece of the puzzle is low land counts too, and wanting to have low land counts. Okay, I think I'm going to cast the Harvest. Graveyard that, and then choose non-land. Doesn't light up the stage. Hopefully my opponent is relying on this Urza Saga to find them a hammer, and hopefully I can find some Ancient Grudges. I have 4 Ancient Grudges in the deck, and with Dragon Rage's Channeler especially, I feel like I'm pretty likely to be able to find one. There we go. Okay, so I think this turn I'm going to just pass with Grudge up. I could double dart the Urza Saga token, but it's kind of awkward with the Giver of Runes. Obviously, I have to double dart. I've been built, played Rakdos, Undying, Blink deck. I don't love it, but I have played it. Okay, so now I think I'll just double dart. Oh, but then they hammer the Giver of Runes. Yeah, never mind then. Freezy with 18 months, thank you. Could double dart Giver flashback on the construct. Could, yeah. I think I'm just gonna Ancient Grudge the hammer. And then here if I get Delirium after I cast the Grudge, and then I can block the construct, and if they give pro red, then we have some interesting decision points after that. So Grudge the hammer. I get Delirium. We're okay with hammer on Giver. We take a big hit, probably, right? Okay, so they give pro red. So I think what I'm going to do is just flashback Grudge. Graveyard that. And I can use Lava Dart to kill this construct, and then maybe the other Lava Dart to kill the Giver. But let me just get attack first. Did I see Doom Wake's Jorion Creativity deck? I did see it. It looks pretty fun, yeah. Not sure how good it is. Keep a land. Okay, 2 lands. So I guess I'm going to... Oh, I'm out of mountains. That's right. I think I'm going to Lava Dart before I do anything else. I do like another Channeler, so we'll light up the stage into that. Okay, have a dead land for next turn. That's okay, though. They didn't have a hammer earlier. If they do have a hammer, I go to 1. If they attack, they have a Ginger Brute. Oh, hold on. I need to on F6. Okay, so well, this stinks, but I think I just flash back the dart now to make them tap the Giver. Then I go to 1. Second light at the stage. Yeah, fetches are dead. I do have the Stomping Ground to play tapped. I need to find an... Well, do I need to find an Ancient Grudge? I do. This Lightning Bolt will be really good after I find the Ancient Grudge. We have a lot of looks. Really good hand. Ginger Brute, Colossus Hammer. Go to 1. Love being at 1 life. I'm gonna play the Stomping Ground this turn for sure. No basic mountains left in the deck. I'm at 1. Yeah, I just need to find an Ancient Grudge. I have 3 more in the deck. I have a ton of looks. Okay, missed. Lightning Bolt Giver. Tried to mill over an Ancient Grudge. I can't draw that. I can play the Soul-Scar Mage, but then... If this was Monastery Swiftspear, I could have jump blocked, I guess. But it was not. No outs. I guess I could have flashback dart. That would have been 2 more looks. Would have bricked. Bummer. Yeah, I guess that would have been better. 2 in the play for game 3. I'd probably recommend the Mono Blue List Nintendo Champ. I really like it, but it's up to you. It's close. I'll keep this hand. Definitely, like, happy to play a more controlling game plan in this matchup. I'm gonna keep 7 cards the first time. All right, I like finding a threat here. Thoughts on starting a CP Pro membership? I don't know exactly how memberships are going to be affected with the TCG player acquiring Channel Fireball. I imagine it's going to be exactly the same. Like you'll be getting you'll be getting the exact same thing for the same money is what I imagine. I don't know for sure because they don't. That's not my area. I just give them the the articles and the videos and stuff, but I imagine it's going to be the same or close to the same. When it gets a Shadow Spear, it's interesting. I think this turn I like... Oh, do I have lethal? I don't have lethal. No way, right? Okay, so I Lava Dart, Esper Sentinel. 2 Prowess triggers. Then I have 1, 2, 3 more. So the Swift Spears are both base 4 power for a total of 8. 8, 10, 11, 14. Yeah, not lethal. Exacxies if they didn't block. Oh, Exacxies if I dart them? Oh, I missed the first Prowess trigger. Sorry. 10, 12, 13, 16. So I had to dart them. I did attack them and then dart them. Sorry. So I guess now I'll just go ahead and pay 1 and then play it a little bit slower. Could use my Lightning Bolt now. Did I bolt the Stoneforge Mystic? I'm a bit worried about Cauldron. I know they are playing Cauldron. They tutored Shadow Spear instead of it. I feel like Cauldron's a really good way to lose in a game where I'm pretty ahead. So I think I'm going to do this. You would bolt and growth? I think I'll save the growth for later. Yeah, I think I'm just so ahead. My hand is so good that there's a good chance I lose to Cauldron. Yeah, it also maybe takes them off drum. I get to use all my mana on my spells next turn too, on Grudge, Dart, Mutagenic Growth. Okay, so it looks like their plan is to Urza Saga token, this should be lethal if they just Saga token. So let me just go Floated Mana, Lava Dart the Sentinel, then pay for the Sentinel with the floating mana. I assume they make a token. I Grudge, Flashback Grudge, Mutagenic Growth. Yeah, should be lethal. Two 2-0, only cast 1 Thrasta so far, so we're really losing in this league so far. Alright, this is exactly 10. Could flashback the Grudge for 2 more, but 10 is 10. Alright, 4, 6, 10. How goes the yeah, no turn 2 kills today, but we are 2-0 in the league at least. Yeah, I am really excited about this list. It was really fun last night. It's just always fun when you have, like, a really obviously powerful card that has really crazy deck building restrictions, that's been around for a while, has never really seen enough or play. It's just good when a plan comes together, you know. Okay. I think I have to get Stomping Ground. I might get Basic Mountain with the next one. I'm a bit worried. I think my opponent's playing Burn with Ragavan. I've seen some people do that lately. I wonder how scared I should be of Boros Charm to protect it. I think that's less relevant than a Dashed Ragavan. Regime, think of deck tech. Brocco with 3 months. Dragon Prowess. Yeah, I definitely have a really big soft spot for Dreadhorde Arcanist and Prowess. Oh, it's Boros Stoneblade. Okay. Okay, cool. This is good for me. Lava Dart's lining up very well against my opponent's draw. If I draw Manamorphose for turn, I may not play my Bauble. Oh, do they have Spell Pierce? I'm going to lose it if they have Spell Pierce. Good beats. Looks like they're maybe playing my latest version. I'll just take the hit for the Ragavan now. Why Dragon Rage over Ragavan? Because it's way better in this deck. It has so much synergy. You get to sift through your deck, smooth out your draws when you're trying to like storm off with Thrasta too. Channeler is nuts. Ragavan is mid in Prowess. Okay, I guess I'm just going to play Stomping Ground, double Channeler. My life total is not under as much pressure as I thought. I think I'll graveyard that for Delirium. Lightning Bolt seems pretty good. It seems kind of hard to put back a Lightning Bolt here. If my opponent plays Sword of Fire and Ice also, they go Sword of Fire and Ice, equip to Fervent Champion, I can Lava Dart, then use Abundant Harvest to get another land. I think I'd be really interested in seeing you play the second copy of Become Immense in this deck. I think I'd also be interested in seeing you play Dragon Regis Channeler over Sprite Dragon with Arcanist as your only 2-drop. Probably the 4th Arcanist if you're going to be playing it here. I don't know what protection spell is best. I feel like I would probably want 4 main and like 2 or 3 more side though. I don't know if I necessarily like this split. Wait, they have double Prismatic Ending? Dude, their draw was Ragavan, Fervent Champion, double Prismatic Ending, Spell Pierce? That's so nuts. And they were on the play. Do I graveyard this Lightning Bolt now? I think I need to keep it to kill the Fervent Champ. Being able to give Trample with Wild Shape's been nice. Yeah, that might be the case. Like, I think you would just pick 1 and play 4 of them, and so you can get the 4th Arcanist in there, play Dragon Regis Channel over Sprite Dragon. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is the kind of card I really don't like in Prowess. Like, I think like just planning to like win the grindy matchups or whatever, I think is not a good plan. Like I'd be more interested in like having like 4 Wild Chip main, 2 Snakeskin Veil side, and just like be in on your aggressive game plan. I don't think Seasoned Pyromancer really does enough for you. I would play the first Chalice over the. I would play the first Chalice over the second Void Mirror. I'd probably play third Steam Vents over the. Oh, you're playing 19 lands. You gotta get that number like way down. I'd probably play 17. Like, I'm playing 16 in this deck. I was playing a very similar list to this in like the. I was playing 2/2-drops in the Teamer Groundrift deck, and I was playing 18 lands in that version. But if you go down to only the Arcanist as 2-drops, you should be on 17 lands, I think. Which maybe gives you the room to play the 5th, or the second Become Immense, and then the 5th protection spell in the main. Oh, also, I think Unholy Heat's a really bad sideboard card. Like, it doesn't kill Murktide. I would play Run Afoul instead. Like, the whole format is warped around Unholy Heat, so it's not like you really get to, like, snipe anything with it usually. I think I do have to bolt this Fervent Champ. It's just, like, so dangerous because they have, 3 sort of Fire Ices in the deck. It's kind of hoping to maybe just draw a land, cast Light Up the Stage into, like, some nuts stuff, and cast Thrasta. We'll see. Their draw was crazy good. Their draw was crazy good. I play Weather the Storm over Dragon's Call also. Awesome, Twitch Prime, thank you. Any new insights for Infect? I think for the most part, I prefer Prowess variants to Infect variants. Man, I wish I ever drew this well with Boros Stoneblade. I can cast this Abundant Growth too, or Abundant Harvest. Jeez, just non-stop gas. I can't on the play. Ragavan, Spell Pierce Champion, double ending. Hold on, I think they only have 2 endings in the deck if they're playing my latest list too. Yeah, I don't know if it looks like they're playing this list, and if they are, they only have the 2 endings, which is crazy. I'll stop complaining though. Someday. Alright, so what do we do about this? Teferi's a problem. I think I'm just going to pay, choose land, cast a Soul-Scar Mage, and pass. Uber Crisis 6 months, thank you. Is Runaway Seemkin too expensive at 2 mana? Yeah, it's my opinion that in this deck, you want to play Oh yeah, what did they reveal to Harvest? Another Fervent Champ. It's in my opinion, in this list, you want to play 0 2-mana spells. I think besides Thrasta, you need all of your cards to be 0 or 1 mana. Uber, thank you for the 6 months. Thank you. Yeah, it is true. I'm using my my forbidden technique of complain constantly to win the game somehow. It's in the Stoneblade list is in the Stream Decker. Okay, so I go to 5, and then they put me down to 1. I'm gonna go. Let's just go to the next game. You can also rewind and pause and screenshot. Don't think I'm wanting to sideboard too heavily here. I think some number of Ancient Grudge is fine. Hits their Esper Sentinels, hits their Sword of Fire Ices. I think maybe trimming 1 Thrasta, 2 Mutagenic Growth, or... No, let's just do 2 Growth for 2 Grudge. Keep Thrastas in. We've only cast Thrasta 1 time so far, but my first 4 games yesterday, I had a turn 2 Thrasta, then a turn 3 Thrasta, then a turn 3, then a turn 3, which was awesome. Which was definitely felt like I was running good also, but cards definitely felt like a good fit here. Is Summoner's Pact 2 lost in the sauce? Yeah, you'll just die if you have Summoner's Pact. Thunder, the 9 months, thank you. Because we have 0 basic force for Magus. Yeah, I know, but the idea is you're going to bring this against Titan and just win the game with it. You could also maybe side out Thrasta for Magus. I was thinking that might be the plan. Remember when I was a control player? No, I don't. Thunder, thank you for the 9 months. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Why Magus removed? Because of Besage. It's also a creature in a deck that wants to be attacking. No Teamer Battle Rage. Again, you do not. Yeah, I really think you want no 2-mana spells in this deck. 2 mana is too high on the curve. Riftbolt seems cool. It does seem cool, yeah. Kind of seems maybe hard to set up for. Naya for Clever Lumimancer. I mean, I feel like for Lumimancer, you kind of have to be playing Ground Rift. And then I usually don't like Bauble in my Lumimancer decks as much. Obviously, you can play them, but yeah. You think your opponent will bring a Besage against you? I think that my Primeval Titan opponents will still be keeping their 3 Besages in the main deck. In fact, I know that for a fact that they have 3 Besages in their main deck that they'll be keeping in. And they'll be bringing in like 2 Dismembers. So there's more Besages than Dismembers. And Dismember makes them lose a lot of life. Dismember is pretty live. It's targeting my other creatures. Again, it's like, you know, I think it's kind of easy to have like these... Okay, Love Dart's really good against my opponent. I'm going to keep... I may actually hold the Baubles for a possible Thrasta. It's close. I'm going to play this tapped in case they have Esper Sentinel, I think, too. I'm going to play it a bit slower here. Traverse or Abundant. Abundant, I think, is way better. I'm going to play 1 Bauble. It's close. These hands have been really hard to figure out. But yeah, it's kind of easy to like see Magus like, oh, they'll bring in creature removal against you because you're just kind of thinking very generally about how matchups go. The Maguses are specifically for Amulet Titan. You might bring them in against Tron 2. You might not because I think you're just like game 1 aggressive plan's really good against them. You have a rough matchup against Titan. I think that you're just supposed to bring in the best card, which is Magus of the Moon against them because they have all these Besages. Traverse may actually be great. Maybe. I feel like it'd be kind of slow, but it could be good. Okay, so I guess my plan is to Lava Dart this turn, next turn Hardcast Light at the stage, and then potentially use these Baubles for a Thrasta. Saving the Love Months, appreciate you. If you played now, you could have the Rebound Protection spell. That's true. That would be good. For Red Black Rock, if I want a Moon Effect, you'd use Magus. Yeah, I think for the most part, like, the first Magus is better than the first Blood Moon. I know that most Merc-type players do a 1-1 split, which I think is kind of silly, to be honest, but the idea is that they usually want the first Blood Moon against Omnath, and so they'll bring one Moon against Omnath, and they'll bring both in against Tron and Titan, but I'm not even, like, really of the opinion that the... I'm not really of the opinion that the first Moon is good against Omnath, unfortunately. Okay, opponent grabs a Batter Skull. I do have Ancient Grudges in the deck because it's a sideboard game, so I don't necessarily need to be too worried about the Batter Skull. So gonna kill this Esper Sentinel on tap. Take a draw step. Manamorphose. Yeah, I think because I'm gonna try to draw into an Ancient Grudge. I'll just cast Light up the stage here, and then hopefully also find a Thrasta. I've got a lot of looks. There's a Thrasta, which is gonna be like really easily 2 mana next turn. Yeah, next turn we get to go Channeler, Bauble, Manamorphose, Thrasta. Maybe something else if we draw a land. Marv, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's also like if they have Dismember against you, it's really likely to have to Dismember like your Swiftspear or Soul-Scar Mage, and then your Magus is more likely to live too. You can also have 2 Mutagenic Growths to counter Dismember. I guess a Spell Pierce on my Manamorphose would be big disaster. So one thing I could do to play around that is instead of casting a Manamorphose, just flashback Lava Dart. I think that's the line. Oh, sorry, wrong Lava Dart. And I think I'm going to try to draw land, so off one of these Baubles, and then have a really strong Swiftspear next turn that can like attack through the Batter Skull. One says nice meme, haha. Okay. Yeah, nice Spell Pierce, I think. Yeah, I don't know if that's trash talk. I don't know. So I feel like some people trash talk when they call decks meme decks. Some people aren't. I don't know. Hard to say. Okay, they're not holding up Spell Pierce. What's funny is I have a really good chance to just replay this Thrasta. My top card is Monastery Swiftspear. Yeah, a lot of people use meme deck as a term of endearment. We don't need to be just salty here or anything. I know chat loves drama. I think I just killed the Batter Skull. Pass. Yeah, I'll do my best to not forget Trample over Planeswalkers. Did I try Burning Tree? I think Burning Tree is not very good. Like it has like no synergy with the Prowess, and then it also makes red green instead of green green. Grabbing a Cauldron. Still not leaving up Spell Pierce. How do we get through Resolve Cauldron? We just have to race it. Like if they attack here, I don't have lethal, but I could have lethal if I draw Lightning Bolt. No, it's a little short. Alright. Not gonna pay. I kinda need to draw land here. Can make red green. Wow. Green. So to Thrasta, I have to Mutagenic Growth, one of my opponent's creatures. Then I go down to 5, and I just am not live. Feels bad. If I hadn't played so hard around, it looks like my opponent didn't have the Spell Pierce. But it was just I just lost the game if they had it, obviously. I lost the game if they had the Spell Pierce, obviously. But if I hadn't played around it, I think we may have won that game. Unfortunately. Big, thank you to Twitch Prime. Thank you. Welcome back. Okay. Definitely keeping this. Could have just cast Manamorphose before anything else. I mean, they just Spell Pierce it, though. Like, the line I took beat Spell Pierce. If I cast Manamorphose before everything else, they Spell Pierce it first, obviously, right? And I can't cast the Thrasta. 4 spells could Demon Lich Thrasta be a deck? Maybe. I think that it's just probably too high on the curve to play Demon Lich 2. We'll see. You just can't play infinite payoffs. If we get Runner 0 mana spells, we have a turn 2 Thrasta, but very likely just gonna wait till turn 3 here. Yeah, I think that the card maybe had been balanced if it cost 1 less mana. It would have been way better if it cost 1 less also. Okay, glad to not have to save my creature here. Yeah, I think again, I think sequencing with this deck has been really difficult so far. I think you can make a really good case for just Lightning Bolt's the Channeler, but Lightning Bolt's being a spell for next turn seems really important, so I'm gonna prioritize that, and then try to have a turn 3 Thrasta here. Faith of Salvaging over Light Up. Yeah, you could maybe do that. I think Light Up is better, but it's definitely a conversation. Could Flame Jab make sense? Flame Jab is a little lost in the sauce. 1 mana spells are not even, like, that ideal in the first place, I think. Okay. I'm going to be 1 mana short for Thrasta unless my opponent Spell Pierces or does something in response to this. Yeah, let me actually target the Channeler, because if they have a Consider or something, they'll respond to the Lightning Bolt with the Consider, and then that's one more. Thrasta counts on your opponent's spells too. Dude, this is like the biggest brain play I've made all week. This is the biggest brain play I've made all week. Let's freaking go. I'm really hyped about that. Like they never cast the Consider there if you bolt the Ragavan. That feels really good. It always feels bad when you have like a really good like idea like that and your opponent just like doesn't have the Consider. They just don't have the Consider. And then, you know, you look a lot less smart. Yeah, even dodges Unholy Heat. So they're playing a 4/4 Murktide. A mere chump blocker in the face of Thrasta. Although maybe they'll go Murktide plus Bolt or something. I'm going to be happy enough to attack with everything here, I think. Yeah, if they want to go to 1, turn off the Misty, it's fine. Is Thrasta and Meme good? It turns out there's, you know, a world of cards in between. I think Thrasta is good in this deck. Like, Thrasta is good in this deck. It's very powerful, high upside, really powerful. I think I've met the deck building requirements, having, I think, 17 0-mana spells. I count Lava Dart as 0 mana, by the way. 17 0-mana spells, the rest 1-mana spells. I think you just, like, narrowly meet the requirements. Okay. Let's go bring in the Run Afouls. I can't remember. I played this matchup last night. I can't remember exactly how I sideboarded. I think I was, like, into Run Afouls, -1 Thrasta, -1 Abundant Harvest. You really don't want to draw 2 Thrastas in this matchup, I think. House Harvest. But Harvest, I think, is really good. I've actually had this on my radar for a long time, that if I ever wanted to play a Gruul Prowess deck, I wanted to play Abundant Harvest, which lets you play 16 lands really easily. I quietly think you might be able to play 15. I think 16 is correct. Lets you play 16 lands, smooths out your draws a lot, gives you like a density of prowess triggers really well. I think Abundant Harvest is, Austin earlier put it really well. It's good in decks that want to have really low land counts and have a really high degree of redundancy in their spells. I think that's the mythical formula for Abundant Harvest. And I've just kind of been like, for a long time really, been looking for another payoff for, let me just start that. Been looking for another payoff for Gruul, Prowess decks, and this is it. Was Ground Rift or Arcanist ever part of the drafts? I don't think in this version, though. I think my Surveil matters more than theirs here. I don't think I like Traverse very much in the shell. I think it's just like a bit too slow, a bit too dopey, but I could be wrong. Okay, that's a Thrasta next turn. Unless they kill my Channeler. Okay, they're not killing my Channeler. But I have to draw something now to Thrasta. Or I guess just even a Mountain's gonna do it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I broke it, but I am currently 6-2 with the deck. Maybe it could have been 7-1 if I hadn't punted against Yawgmoth last night, but, you know, laments. Okay, dead Channeler. We're so close to being able to Thrasta, but it's a really big problem if I Manamorphose here and I miss on a land. I could Bauble myself. I think I'm just gonna wait one turn. And then maybe I get to like Run Afoul, a Shredder, or a Murktide this turn. And then maybe I run into a counterspell because I waited. Okay, I have to use my Lava Dart, unfortunately. It's okay. Maybe they just counter Thrasta also. Probably okay as well. I feel like they would have countered the Manamorphose. Oh, no! No! Oh, gross. It's got a Lightning Bolt on top. I think I Run Afoul. My draws were not too bad, but I didn't draw lands. I know they have a Lightning Bolt, so I'm not like super happy to commit a creature into their Lightning Bolt this turn. Okay. So they're drawing a land for this turn, right? Their other card is a Lightning Bolt. Thank you, Mikey, for the 8 months. Appreciate you. Okay, so hopefully I draw a land. Didn't draw a land. I'll go Swiftspear, Bauble, they'll bolt it. They're not bolting it. Now they bolt it. Need your opponent to flood out a little bit. That was like the best subtlety I've ever seen. At least we don't have to keep the Thrasta on top. They keep a card on top with Consider, or did they graveyard Consider with Consider? I think they just graveyarded Consider, which is probably incorrect, right? Yes, they did. They do not have Delirium. Let's go. What a punt. But it's like, I got 12 cards over there. I probably have Delirium. I've done the same thing. I've done the exact same thing. I think now they have Delirium. No, they still don't. Yeah, I thought for sure that would be a top deck Murktide, but it wasn't. Soul-Scar Mage, you got shot. Lavamancer, 5 months, thank you. Kai with the 10. That's pretty good. Maybe I shouldn't have played this for turn, because I might have hit land off light at the stage. I think I'm paying mana, which is weird, I know. If they discard they have to discard a spell here. They do discard a Dragon Rage's Channeler. -1 counter. Oh. Spell Pierce. So I can either flashback Lava Dart, or I can Mutagenic Growth to kill the Shredder. I think I use the Mutagenic Growth, and I can like dart them. Sorry, can dart them and then light the stage. They're top decking. Would be great for them to brick. Obviously, they do brick. So float a red mana, dart them, light up the stage. Good Thrasta, theoretically. Not quite that lucky. Do I have lethal, actually? This is... I think this is 12 damage. 6 power. Could definitely keep that. Oh, if I keep that, I'm not... Dart, flashback, dart. I just dart, flashback, dart. It's 14? I'm counting... Oh, no, it's lethal. It's lethal. I think I keep like not counting the prowess trigger that's on the stack is my problem. Okay, 3-1, losing game against a sicko Jeskai Stoneblade draw. Up against Pygonti, who does also usually play Murktide. I'm gonna keep this hand. And I'm gonna save the 0 mana spells for my Thrasta as well. Could maybe see an argument for holding the Swiftspear. Like if I draw another 0 mana spell, then I may want to go like turn 3, Swiftspear, 0 mana spell, 0 mana spell, 0 mana spell, Thrasta. This also turns off Mutagenic Growth now that my Swiftspear is dead. Like that might have been better, I don't know. Might have been worse too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the Channeler in hand, because if I play Channeler and then I go Bauble, Manamorphose, if I have a Mutagenic Growth, Lava Dart, Gutshot, Manamorphose, Mishra's Bauble as my draw step or my Manamorphose draw, I get to or Surveil into the yard. In the case of Lava Dart, I'm gonna be in really good shape. Well, I'm probably gonna get Spell Pierced by Pi. These are the content Bappy source more CQs. Yeah, that's my full content these days, I guess. Alright, still gonna be on Channeler here. And I'm actually gonna try to bait Spell Pierce by bobbling before I play my land, because Spell Pierce would let me Thrasta. I wouldn't hate this Lightning Bolt. But I think I'm gonna graveyard it again, trying to find a 0 mana spell. Let me look at my top card. Another Swiftspear. Another Swiftspear. So I only have one more chance if I Manamorphose this next turn. So maybe I just harvest into the Swiftspear. Play the Swiftspear pass. Oh, come on. Just not. That's the 4th spell for Thrasta, but I can't play it. Bummer. Bummer. No attacks. Counter, 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 counter. Do not have a second spell Pierce Pie. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. Pie often plays a Murktide. Or sorry, a Borrower. Exile's land is pretty lucky. I think I just attack first here. Do not, please don't Petty Theft though. That would be so rude. Oda Warug, yikes. It's not even a spell count for Thrasta either. Although it looks like I can probably replay it. We'll see. We'll see. Yes, I can. Or oh, sorry, I have to draw a land or a 0-mana spell. Untap land or 0-mana spell. Or a Surveil Dart into the yard. He's usually off Borrower these days. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, I guess with like the Shredders now, you're basically never playing Borrower. I'm gonna sideboard the same way I did last time. I think 2 Guttural Response to the sideboard. I would play Veil of Summer over Guttural Response probably. But I still have no fear. Because I think a lot of times you can play like we've been playing, where you can bait counter magic that helps you cast your Thrasta. Obviously not all the time, but it's been working so far. Okay, let's keep this hand. I think I put back second Manamorphose. It's kind of hard to do that in this deck, though. Maybe I put back second Growth. But being able to counter two burn spells seems really good this game. Guttural Response seems pretty good. Does it? Or do you guys just hate getting counterspelled? When I tried Dismember in the 75? Dismember, I don't know what Dismember is supposed to be targeting, you know what I mean? Like, Dismember is the kind of card that people play because they think it's like a generically good sideboard option. But I think is a little bit lackluster. Let me play a Channeler this turn. Oh, whoops. Is Leyline not worth the stuff to layer bit Murktide? I mean, Leyline is good if it's in your opening hand, but with like now that Murktide has Ledger Shredder, I'm like way less into it. I think for the most part, Leyline is just for living in / you know, like random like more all-in graveyard decks that you'll be lucky to play against like Reanimator. But for the most part, I just want to it's against Living End. It's my current plan. Okay, let me attack now. Obviously hoping to hit something off my line at this stage. Yeah, like Dredge is like not popular enough for me to like really like be sideboarding for Leylines, but Living In is popular. Living In is really good against Prowess. Again, like a lot of matchups you're really okay not sideboarding heavily too. So I think I like you saw yesterday when I was playing Affinity, I really like to have super polarized sideboard decisions when I play decks like this, like very linear decks. I'm not playing Noxious Revival. I don't actually hate the idea of Noxious Revival though. I think it's probably not good, but this is one of the first times someone suggested Noxious Revival in the chat, and I haven't immediately just dismissed it. I can cast a Thrasta if I draw one. I'll have a counterspell though. Alright, just attack here. Weird to like have these Mutagenic Growths in hand this long. Usually they counter usually they end up countering burn spells like really early. I think I attack with the Swiftspear. Let's see, do I have lethal? This is gonna be 4 plus 4 plus 3. So only 11. Yeah, Thrasta shouldn't be countered. Let's all email wizards. Down to 8. Very likely getting counterspelled here, but I still have to cast this. Definitely keeping that on top. Oh, awesome. And there's a Lava Dart, which I'll cast on my opponent's upkeep on the monkey. Just be in really, really good shape. I think I guess this doesn't play very well around second monkey though, which my opponent could very easily have. But I could also just flashback the dart on the monkey. But I think I'd rather play more around counterspell top deck than monkey in hand, but maybe that's worse. Yeah, I should probably just play around monkey in hand. Because with my opponent not countering, that makes more sense. But very, very decisive 4-1 this first league. I have now 2 4-1s with this deck. That's my only 2 leagues, losing 2 like very gnarly matches, I guess. Let's run it back. Yeah, I'm 3-0 against Murktide too. 1-0 against Omnath variants. And then let's do a, I guess, league prediction, which I've been less cursed.